So, today's cocktail is really an example of the funny way that minds work. I had noticed earlier on that today is World Chocolate Day, and so I thought I wanted to make something chocolatey, and I was going to use some of my Aztec chocolate bitters. Thought that'd be great, and I started looking up recipes, and I came across one that was called a left hand. And that was an interesting enough drink, but as I started thinking about it, it made me, or rather reminded me of one of my favourite ever books. It's a science fiction book by Ursula Le Guin called The Left Hand of Darkness. And it's a beautiful, bittersweet science fiction love story around the issue of gender fluidity and mischances and miscommunication. You know, love story, right? So there's obviously miscommunication. And so I thought I wanted to do something more like that. And I looked on the web, and there are a couple of homages to Ursula Le Guin's book called The Left Hand of Darkness, but none of them were quite the recipe that I wanted to do. I wanted something that more captured the bittersweet nature of the relationship at the heart of that book. So today I'm making my version of The Left Hand of Darkness. And because it's a darkness sort of themed drink, I wanted something that would give it that dark hue, and I decided on dark rum, my favourite blackstrap rum by Cruzan, and I'm going to go for 2 ounces of that. Like so. But then I wanted to capture the sort of dichotomy, that sort of dialectic of a relationship at the bitter-sweet side of it. So I thought, well, why not do what would make a sort of perfect rum martini, if you would, and put some vermouth, but both sweet and dry vermouth. And I'm going to put ½ an ounce each of those into this. Because of course a perfect martini splits the vermouths between sweet and dry as well. That's why I said that. And so there's my dry vermouth as well, another ½ an ounce of that too. And that's all well and good, but I thought, yeah, why don't I throw a couple of other things in there as well, so that again capture that bitter-sweet. So on bitter, or rather, you know, amaro bitter, I decided to put ½ an ounce of amaro in there. I'm using Nonino, but you could use any one. I'm sure Ramazzotti would work. They're both citrusy. But you could use Montenegro instead if you like. And I'm going for another ½ an ounce of that too. And then to balance out the bitterness of the amaro, although it's not super bitter, of course, I'm going to put in ½ an ounce of orange liqueur. You could use Cointreau or Grand Marnier. I'm just using a bog standard orange liqueur, which I quite like. It's a French one. And then, of course, the bitters. The whole point of this was to use bitters. So I'm using my Aztec chocolate bitters. I'll put a couple of good dashes of that in there. And then also, to balance out the bitterness of the Aztec chocolate, I'm going to put in some orange bitters. I'm going to put in a similar amount of that too. Phew, it's a lot of ingredients, but let's see how this is. I'm going to stir this in my mixing glass. Smelling interesting, I'm not going to lie. I want to make it nice and cold, though. Imagine this is set in a faraway planet. And in fact, I think another name for the planet is winter. So this should be a well-chilled drink, I think. Well, the winter is a translation of whatever their language was on that planet, which I no longer recall. It's been so long since I've read it, but maybe I need to read it again. It's an excellent book, but I very much recommend it. Okay, that's enough stirring though. This video is going to go on forever at this rate. And let's just pour this into our chilled coupe or cocktail glass, like so. And then with the garnishes, I thought, oh, I want to sort of continue with this theme. So let's have sweet and more bitter garnishes. So first of all, we'll go for a maraschino cherry there. And then also, let's have a twist of orange peel. Get the bitterness from the peel. That should hopefully counteract the sweet of the cherry. And let's see what we've got. For a drink made with the left hand, that's all right.